Villains are every bit as important as main characters. At least if they're done right, they will be. So in today's video, we are going to explore how to create a great villain so you can take inspiration from it when creating your own bad guys. Let's get into it. Hi guys, my name is Jesper and welcome to the Fane of Fantasy. This channel is all about giving you inspiration to master your craft and create fantasy that will truly immerse your audience. Before we get into today's subject, I want to announce a special prize. I will give away a signed paperback version of Desolation, which is the first book in my Keystone Bone trilogy, to one of you who signs up on Patreon before the next video releases on Monday the 5th of June. Well, that is 2017, just in case you watch this as a much later date. Any support given on Patreon does truly help. I mean, even $1 is important because it shows that you appreciate the content I create here and that you want it to continue. So I'll draw a name at random among all those who sign up before the 5th of June, and then I will ship the paperback to anywhere you live in the world. And I'll also include a small surprise gift within the package. And from signing up, you will also get direct access to me. Okay, so a great villain. Well, developing one requires the same attention as when you're developing the hero. A villain requires that we can believe in him or her. It needs to be a person who has feelings and motives as valid and varied as anyone else, and that is the heart of a great villain. We need to feel that we understand the character even when we are not necessarily agreeing with what he or she is doing. You know, we have to see the why behind it. No one is evil for the sake of being evil. And in fact, your bad guy will likely believe that he or she is the one doing right and that it's the hero being at fault. For your villain to feel real, you need more than just a desire for power, and instead derive from the villain's personal traumas or irrational thinking. The greatest of villains do not exist just to play opposition to your hero. A place to start understanding the villain is by fleshing out how he or she has become the person they are today. In this video, I've added a link here on the screen. I talked about creating a character personality. The free download that goes with that video gave you 69 questions to answer, which, once answered, provides you with a very solid base to build from. In fact, if you are able to show that your villain wasn't always a bad guy, show the personal faults and flaws, you will actually strengthen the connection to the villain considerably. Before we get all soft and mushy here, do make sure to keep your villain formidable. He or she needs to be at least as smart, strong, and capable as the hero himself. There has to be a constant doubt to whether or not the hero is actually going to succeed or win. I think it's even better if you can actually give the villain some strength that directly matches your hero's weaknesses, because as a result, your audience will develop a grudging respect for the villain, and that is the route to tension, which in turn leads to complete immersion. Think of Jaime and Cersei Lannister in Game of Thrones. When we first meet these characters, they seem almost like, evil personified. But as we move through the story and we get to know their perspective, what drives them, what makes them tick, it is game-changing. I mean, even if we don't agree with their actions and thoughts, it makes a huge difference. But at the end of the day, it's about keeping the tension high between the villain and the hero. But it is extremely hard to achieve and make believable unless there are strong motivations at play in the background. I guess you could create like a psychopath or a sociopath or something like that, but in my opinion, they do not make nearly as compelling a villain as one who truly sees his or her own actions as logical or perhaps even noble. Personally, I like to make the villain's case, and what that means is that in essence I debate myself on what the villain believes in. What does the villain feel justified, and what does he feel right? How could the world turn better in the villain's eyes if they could make all the changes they wanted? And then I challenge myself every time I come up with an answer to one of these questions. And then I keep searching for an even better response all the time until I'm really sure I have a good one. Do you have some good tips on making great villains? Then do make sure to post them in the comment section below for others to see and also draw inspiration from. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, make sure to hit the like button below and also share it with a friend. We've talked a lot about humanizing your villain in this video, and it is because it's so important. If you can even let the villain be heroic or principled from time to time, you will have evil that wears a compassionate face, and it just doesn't get any better than that. I've moved into the final third on my Twitter for Authors book, and it's shaping up really nicely. It's packed full of tips and tricks to engage with your audience and on Twitter. And whoa, hey, if you use Twitter, then make sure to connect with me and I will follow you back. There is actually a link right here on the channel banner itself, and while you're there, why not grab the free behind-the-scenes download of the Keystone Rome Trilogy. The link is on the banner as well. If this is your first time here, then do make sure to subscribe for your weekly dose of fantasy inspiration. Stay safe out there and see you next Monday.